Alright, so I'm making this video because, or if anybody finds this, I really don't know what I'm trying to say, and just I'm breathtaking at what I
Imagine walking into a quiet home in a small Virginia town, only to find 4 bodies stacked in a bedroom, bludgeoned beyond recognition. That's the horrifying scene police uncovered in Farmville back in 2009. But what led a young rapper called Syko Sam to snap and slaughter his online girlfriend, her parents, and her best friend? Stick with me. I'm about to walk you through every chilling step of this nightmare, right here on Crime Just Broke.
This story takes us to Farmville, Virginia. The year was 2009. A quiet, historic town founded in 1798. Known for its small-town charm, trade, and strong academic roots, nestled between Richmond and Lynchburg. At the heart of this story is Debra Kelley, 53 years old, an associate professor of sociology and criminal justice at Longwood University since 1994. She held a doctorate from the University of Illinois, a respected scholar, a compassionate mentor. Students admired her, not just for her knowledge, but for how deeply she listened. Debra lived at 505 First Avenue, sharing her home with her daughter, Emma. Emma was 16, bright, creative, and curious. After facing bullying in middle school, she continued her studies at home. She found comfort in art, the internet, and an unusual musical subculture, horrorcore rap. A dark underground branch of hip-hop, where lyrics revolve around death, violence, and pain. But to Emma, it wasn't about the darkness, it was about belonging. Her father, Mark Niederbrock, was 50, a devoted pastor at Walker's Presbyterian Church in Hicksburg. Originally from Illinois. An Eagle Scout, a college graduate who once worked in graphic design before answering a higher calling to ministry. One church member, Barbara Dickerson, later said, her daddy would have done anything for her. Though Debra and Mark had divorced just 9 months earlier, there was no bitterness. They stayed close, still a family, still supportive. Mark visited often, helping with Emma and joining them for outings. At the time, another young woman was also staying with them, Melanie Wells, age 18, from Louisville, Kentucky. A friend of Emma's who shared her love for music and the horrorcore scene. The family had moved to West Virginia before Emma reached high school. She eventually dropped out, but kept working toward her GED. Friends described her as kind, quiet, and genuine. One freshman friend, Laura, later said, "She was one of the few people who actually talked to me." Emma and Melanie bonded instantly over their shared love for horrorcore music. Emma spent much of her time online, building a digital life through MySpace under the name Ragdoll. Melanie had her own profile too, where she even listed her religion as Levan Satanist. It was more teenage rebellion than belief, just experimentation. Through that same online scene, they met Richard Samuel Alden McCroskey III. He was 20 years old, from Castro Valley, California. Online, Richard presented 2 identities, Lil Dion Dog for his personal profile and Syko Sam for his horrorcore persona. He called himself a web designer, a graphic artist, a gamer, and a proud juggalo, a fan of the rap group Insane Clown Posse. His fun facts page insisted he wasn't a creeper or a killer, but his music told a darker story. Tracks with names like Murderous Rage and Sick Minds Think Alike. Lyrics filled with images of death, decay, and screams. He'd only been making music for a few months, but it was already his obsession. Emma and Sam began talking constantly. Daily messages, long phone calls. This was before video chats were common, so they traded short video clips instead. Sam's clips showed his room, walls covered in posters, stacks of energy drinks, and underground CDs.
Alright, so you wanted a video, and you made me videos, so... And he said please, so I'll make you this video, even though I'm not gonna, like, do anything. Because my room's kind of dirty, and... yeah, I don't want to show you my dirty room. But this video is for Emma, because you just told me to say your name. So... I don't know. I'll make you another video once clean, I promise. Unless you just want to like see my wall, because that's not dirty, but behind me is dirty, so that's not good. Alright, this video is for you, Emma. The ragdoll, amazing ragdoll, and I really don't know what to do for you on video. So I guess I'll like show you my room a little bit, if that's what you want to see. First off, we got my door. And then we got my addiction for energy drinks. And then we got my small underground CD collection going on right here. And then we got my wall of awesomeness, that I call it. Lots of posters and flyers and a Hatchet Man charm and random stuff. A hatchet. Oh no, the battery's dying.
Then, on September 7th, Emma posted to his MySpace, "Oh baby, next time you check MySpace, you'll be at my house. I love you so, so much, forever and always." She'd been awake since 4 a.m., too excited to sleep. The plan was set in motion. The plan was to hit the Strictly for the Wicked festival, a small but intense horrorcore event held in Southgate, Michigan on September 12th. The lineup featured underground names like Mental Ward, Scum, and Dismembered Fetus, huge draws in that niche scene, pulling in about 250 dedicated fans. Sam flew in from California for the weekend. At the airport, Emma and her parents were there to greet him. His first impression was simple: her smile. To Mark, he seemed polite enough. Debra agreed to let him stay at their home for the weekend. Melanie's parents were fine with her joining too. So Debra loaded everyone into the car for the long drive to Michigan. Mark came along as well. Emma joked online, "Long-ass drive sharing the car with a preacher. It's going to suck, but worth it." When they arrived, they booked motel rooms. The girls stayed with Debra. Mark had his own, and Sam got a room to himself. The night before the festival, they finally met their online horrorcore friends in person. Performers like Sectanic and Rozakel. One of them, Mystical, even braided Melanie's hair. They laughed, shared stories, and bonded over the music scene that had brought them all together. When festival day came, the energy was wild, chaotic, loud, but full of life. Afterward, Melanie posted on MySpace, "SFTW was amazing. Back in Virginia now, home Wednesday." But she would never make it home. After the festival ended, Sam called his family. His tone was quiet, almost subdued. "Just wanted to make sure everyone was okay. I love you guys," he told them. Back in Farmville, the atmosphere changed. Emma began to pull away. Sam wasn't quite what she expected. He didn't look like his photos, and he came off as awkward, even childish. She texted friends saying she felt uneasy, started avoiding him. Then Sam went through her phone and found a message from another guy she'd met at the festival. "I love you, want to be with you." That's when Sam confronted her. She got angry, furious that he'd gone through her phone. It was a violation of trust, and the tension between them exploded. Jealousy simmered, then hardened into something darker. That night, Sam started drinking. Beer, marijuana, painkillers, a toxic mix. By around 3 a.m. on September 15th, the house had fallen silent. Everyone was asleep. Sam walked out to the shed. He came back with a ball-peen hammer and a splitting maul, a heavy, wood-splitting axe. His first target was Melanie, asleep on the den sofa. 4 blows to the head, no sound. Then he crept upstairs to Debra's room. 4 more strikes as she slept. Finally, he went to Emma's bedroom. 4 hits, brutal, final. Prosecutor James Ennis later summarized it bluntly. No one awoke, no one fought back. After the killings, Sam picked up a digital camera and recorded a short, shaky video.
So I'm making this video because, or if anybody finds this, I really don't know what I'm trying to say, and I'm breathtaking at what I've done, and I apologize. I know I'm gonna pay for my consequences. I wish that I could have not done this, but I just lost my mind. I snapped, and I did what I did, and I gotta pay for it now, my consequences. I'm all shaky and stuff, but to anybody that finds this, tell my parents that I love them, and I'm very sorry for doing this, and there's nothing really else to say. To everybody that is probably gonna hate me for this, I'm sorry, and I had to do it. My mind just snapped. I couldn't control it anymore. That's it. Fuck you to the big world. Fuck everybody in the world. I can't stand this place.
He considered ending his life, but didn't. Instead, he stayed inside the house with the bodies. 2 days passed. He mopped the den floor, bagged his bloody clothes, and began sending fake text messages from the victims' phones, telling Melanie's mom they were just watching movies or hanging out. On September 17th, around 5 p.m., Mark showed up at the house. Melanie's parents had asked him to check in, since no one had heard from the girls. Sam met him in the living room, maul still in hand. Within seconds, Mark was dead. Sam dragged the body to Emma's room and placed it with the others. Emma, Debra, Melanie, and Mark were left stacked together as decomposition set in. The next day, Melanie's father, Thomas Wells, drove from West Virginia to pick her up. He called ahead, no response. Knocked on the door, no answer. He waited outside for 7 hours before driving home, uneasy. His wife Kathleen grew alarmed. She phoned Mark, explaining she hadn't heard from anyone. He promised to check, but never called back. That's when she reached out to Farmville police.
Yeah, this is Farmville Police Department. Okay, did you just speak with somebody at the residence?
Yes, I just spoke with, the daughter's boyfriend.
Okay, well, I don't know. My sergeant went over there and he just said that it was a young kid, boy, and that Melanie and the girl she's staying with are at the movies now. Yesterday they went to Richmond. Vehicle had broken down and the cell phone's dead and that kind of thing. So is that what he talked to you about?
What he told me, yeah, and like I said, but I don't know where the mother is. I don't know where, she's usually the one that, drives them around, and she just disappears. I haven't spoken to her at all. The father I talked to earlier on today,
right.
He said that he was on his way, as a matter of fact, he was on the road when I was talking to him. He was going through Farmville, he was supposed to stop at the house. I haven't heard from him since.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't know. I don't know what he's saying at all.
But the next morning, Kathleen called again, begging police to try once more. This time, when officers returned, a foul odor hung in the air outside. They forced the door open. The smell hit them instantly. Inside, down in the bedroom, they found the horror. Emma lay on the bed. Melanie and Mark were on the floor, their faces destroyed, skulls shattered. Upstairs, Debra was found the same way. The splitting maul had done the damage. The bodies were so disfigured, they had to be identified through dental records. Meanwhile, Mark's Honda was missing. Police tracked it down to Poorhouse Road earlier that day, stuck in a ditch. Behind the wheel, Sam, driving without a license. A deputy pulled him over and issued a ticket. The car was towed soon after. The tow truck driver, Elton, dropped him off in town. Sam reeked, unwashed, sour, and had red marks on his neck. From there, Sam walked to a Sheetz convenience store. He told someone he needed a ride to the airport. That tip reached police, who quickly followed the lead. They rushed to Richmond International Airport, where they found Sam asleep in the baggage claim area. A ticket to California sat folded in his pocket. He didn't resist, calm, quiet, compliant. The motive slowly came together. Sam's sister, Sarah, mentioned hearing about a fight at the festival. A taxi driver, Curtis Gibson, later filled in more details about the text from another guy, the argument over privacy, and how Emma had seen their relationship as casual, while Sam believed it was exclusive. His music may have been dark, full of violent imagery, but his lawyer, Carrie Bowen, insisted, that's coincidence, not the cause. On September 23rd, he was officially charged with 4 counts of murder. Then came the funerals. Mark's service was first, his church packed to capacity. Reverend McCutcheon spoke about his kindness, how he visited the sick, led funerals with grace, and now was buried out front of the same church he once led. Next were Debra and Emma. Their service took place at United Methodist Church. Reverend Meadows told mourners, God is stronger than horror. Debra was remembered as both tough and compassionate, a woman who saw humanity even in the darkest crimes. Emma, her daughter, had a rebel streak, fascinated by the occult, but just as happy singing Backstreet Boys. Meadows said, embrace both sides. The darkness is always near, but so is light. Melanie's service was private, held quietly at Brown Funeral Home. By November, a grand jury indicted Sam on 6 capital counts, plus grand larceny for stealing Mark's car. His defense requested a venue change and a psychiatric evaluation. A petition soon spread, pleading against the death penalty. Former student Jessica explained, Dr. Kelley would have seen the human behind the act. Even Sarah, Sam's sister, signed it. Death's the easy way out. Let him live and face what he's done. On September 19, 2010, Sam stood in court. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of capital murder and 2 counts of first-degree murder, in exchange for life in prison without parole. No death sentence. Attorney Bowen later said, 4 bodies. That's compelling enough. Cut to now, November 2025. Sam is 36 years old, serving time at Keene Mountain Correctional Center in Oakwood, Virginia, a maximum security facility. He hasn't spoken publicly since his conviction. Farmville, however, still bears the weight of what happened. A plaque for Debra Kelley stands on the Longwood University campus. Emma's friends still share her stories. Her laugh remembered, her art cherished. Mark's church continues without his voice, and Melanie's spark, that youthful energy, is gone far too soon. Here's where it hits hardest. These parents did everything they could. They homeschooled Emma to keep her safe. They chaperoned the concert. They talked openly about the music, the lyrics, the friends. They stayed involved, even welcomed Sam into their home, trying to understand her world instead of shutting it out. But all it took was one text, one moment of jealousy, one warning sign brushed aside. In the span of a night, protectors became victims. It makes you think, who's really behind the messages we trust? What kind of forever hides the start of a fracture? So hold your people close, because even in the quietest towns, the biggest storms can form unnoticed.